to their steam machine gun. And for that, they'll need a household hot water heater, a plumbing necessity the guys recently discovered has the explosive potential of a bomb. If the pressure is kept below the failure point of 350 psi, they should be ideal to power the gun.
There's a lot of energy in steam and in water heaters, and that's why we're going to use one for this job.
But while plumbing the heaters into the motor, replacing the compressed air, Jamie has soiled himself.
I thought the shirts had some kind of resistive thing, some kind of new technology, military maybe. But they're just normal shirts. It's you know, my world is crashing down around me.
While waiting for a replacement shirt from the NSA, Jamie goes in guns blazing to complete the rig.
Perfect. That ought to do.
And with the last nut, bolt, and ballistic shield in place, the guys are finally ready for a test fire.
All right, I'm putting in one of our target bullets.
So Adam feeds the ammo feeder, Jamie hits the power, and the water heaters are on the boil. But as the tanks heat up and the pressure increases, an eerie hum rings out over M5.
What do you think that is?
I don't have a clue. It seems to be coming out of this one more, though.
The boys are baffled, and while they search for the sound source, the pressure and heat slowly but surely rise.
I've never heard anything like that.
The worried looks are understandable. Remember, at 350 psi, they do this.
That's a rocket, my friend.
The pressure has a way to go before it hits that catastrophic failure point.
We've got water at 260 some odd degrees. It's at 167 psi. It's a huge amount of energy.
But with a whole heap of homemade plumbing involved, there's an element of doubt.
That's so creepy.
And Adam is feeling the pressure.
Can we just go away from the steam and do only air pressure?
At a complete loss as to the source of the mysterious sound,
Just stay out of the jet.
they open up a release valve to let off some steam. And to everyone's relief, the eerie end-of-the-world humming stops.
No, it just stopped.
Cue a relieved, adrenaline-fueled Adam waxing lyrical about his industrial steam engineering brethren.
Doing this, I feel a total kinship with the guys who invented this thing. This was made during the steam age. Steam was the power, and it is an incredible power. I imagine that doing this for the first time out of hand-forged metal had to have been not only petrifying, but a much higher probability of being lethal.
Counterintuitively, after letting off all that steam, their prototype has maintained its pressure. And here's our resident steam lover to explain why.
The moment we release pressure, all the water that isn't steam is being turned to steam to help keep that pressure up. It's very exciting. It's actually...
Yeah, stop talking. What's the PSI?
171.
Okay.
With Adam doing his best kid in a candy store impression and the rig holding its pressure, the guys are finally ready to unleash the steam power and fire up their gun.
Opening up this one.
So far, so good. The steam successfully spins the gun barrel at the projected 2,000 RPM.
It works. What can I say? It's running on steam.
Which means it's time for this gun to fire some ammo.
All right, so this is first test of Adam and Jamie's steam machine gun.
With the team safely behind the ballistic shield, Adam remotely releases the ball. Incredibly, 100 years after it was designed,
What are we doing?
Oh, wow.
this steam-powered gun works.
What did it do to
That
our...
worked beautifully. We're at 155 psi. I can see where it hit. Look at that.
Is there a dent on the outside metal?
Yes.
It may not look like it, but it's working. It put a dent in a 1/4 inch of steel, and that means to me that if we get it tuned right and the ball doesn't hit the steel, instead it comes out of the gun the way it's supposed to, it'd probably go through a person. So it is, in fact, lethal as it stands now.
Despite a timing issue resulting in a slingshot firing into the safety collar and not through the gap, Adam and Jamie have a proof of concept.
Nice! I'm very pleased and terrified.
Adam and Jamie are involved in a steamy affair.
Working on these machines is great for my skin.
Using the Civil War specs and modern materials, they've built a steam-powered machine gun.
It may not look like it, but it's working.
With Jamie drawing the line at firing automatic weapons in the shop, it's off to the wide open spaces of the Alameda runway. Here, the team will tackle the central unresolved question of this myth. Did it function effectively as a weapon of war?
That's it.
There are a lot of conflicting stories about this machine gun.
Absolutely. We have reports of it firing distances between 100 yards and 300 yards. We have reports of it firing 200 rounds a minute, 300 rounds a minute, 400 rounds a minute.
And we have Corporal James Whitaker's account that balls the size of walnuts cut a target completely in twain.
To test these conflicting reports, Adam and Jamie will use these three standards: a range of 300 yards, a rapid-fire capability of 400 rounds per minute, and, of course, lethal force. Pass these best-case scenarios, and it's myth confirmed. With an eye on the range test, Adam marks out 800 yards of runway with a series of 2x4s. And with everything plumbed in, they put the water heaters on to boil. But there's a problem. The pressure is flatlining.
We noticed that our pressure wasn't building even though the water was heating up just fine. And it looks like our main valves failed. So Jamie's run off to the hardware store to find what valves he can, and I'm going to pull this off and start to inspect these. But this is a real roadblock.
With the afternoon slipping away, Jamie rushes back with the part. But unfortunately, he proves once again, you can't beat the speed camera.
I rushed right down to the local hardware store, and thankfully they had just what I needed. It's a sort of a gate valve. There's no visible rubber seals or anything. It's rated for the pressures we need. It's metal to metal. I think it's going to work just fine. Unfortunately, since the water is heating and we're behind schedule now, I was rushing. I got a speeding ticket.
You did say I'm James Heineman?
While Jamie works out if he can claim the ticket as a business expense, they fit the new valve.
Ha! That's it.
Okay.
And the heat and pressure head rapidly for the butter zone.
We've got a tachometer set up so we know exactly when it reaches 2,000 RPM. We got the pin, I'll pull, drop the ball in, and we're going to see this thing actually fire for the first time out in the wild. Let's go.
This is it. The Mythbusters are about to fire a single round from their steam-powered gun. The barrel is up to speed, and Adam is in position to remotely release the ammo.
Here we go. We should hear it clang the second I pull this. 3, 2, 1. That was it. It happened a little bit later.
Just like the proof of concept test back at M5, there seems to be a timing problem.
Can you see the mark?
I can. There's a new mark.
The bullet is hitting the collar and not firing through the gap.
I don't know what the heck we're going to do about that.
I don't know what to do about that except line up 5 balls and see what happens.